Fergie exposes Meghan Markle's yacht past with Andrew. Sarah Ferguson ends it. Some secrets are so heavy they don't just sink. They wait at the bottom of the ocean until the right person decides to cut the anchor. For years, the global public has been fed a very specific, meticulously curated fairy tale. A Hollywood actress, a handsome prince, a whirlwind romance, and a dramatic exit from the royal spotlight. But what if the real exit strategy was planned long before the wedding dress was ever designed? What if the most dangerous threat to Meghan Markle's carefully constructed empire isn't the British tabloids, the relentless paparazzi, or even the institution of the monarchy itself? What if the ultimate threat is a woman who has sat quietly in the shadows of Windsor for decades, watching, remembering, and gathering the receipts? Enter Sarah Ferguson. Fergie, the ultimate royal insider who has survived every scandal the palace could throw at her. For months, the internet has been buzzing with whispers, but the tectonic plates have finally shifted. The silence has been broken, and the shockwaves are rocking Montecito to its absolute core. Reports are swirling that Fergie has allegedly decided to blow the entire narrative wide open, exposing what certain high society circles have whispered about for over a decade: Meghan's alleged, unverified past in the ultra-exclusive, deeply private world of high-end yachting. And the most explosive part? The man allegedly holding the key to this past is none other than Fergie's own ex-husband, Prince Andrew. Get ready, because Sarah Ferguson has officially decided to strike. The palace walls have always been excellent at muffled echoes, but some echoes are simply too loud to contain. To understand why this sudden shift from Sarah Ferguson is sending absolute shivers down the spines of the Montecito elite, you have to understand the sheer anatomy of a royal open secret. For years, the mainstream media gave us a glossy, heavily sanitized version of how an American cable actress managed to secure a frontline seat next to the most historic throne in the world. It was a narrative of pure coincidence, of blind dates set up by mutual friends in exclusive London clubs, and a whirlwind romance that supposedly took everyone by surprise. But in the hyper-exclusive, deeply insulated world of the ultra-wealthy, coincidences are rarely a thing. True insiders don't believe in serendipitous encounters. They believe in calculated proximity. Long before the public ever heard the name Meghan Markle, certain circles in London, the Mediterranean, and New York allegedly recognized her not as a global icon of philanthropy, but as someone who was highly present. Present at the right charity galas, present on the right private flights, and most importantly, present on the pristine decks of superyachts where billionaires and high-ranking elites go to escape the prying eyes of the global press. This brings us directly to the doorstep of the most controversial royal of the modern era, Prince Andrew. For a long time, the public viewed Prince Andrew's scandals through a very specific lens, one dominated by his catastrophic association with Jeffrey Epstein. But what the mainstream media completely overlooked was the broader, interconnected web of the international elite yachting circuit. This isn't your average weekend boating trip. This is an elite subculture where absolute privacy is bought with millions of dollars, where non-disclosure agreements are handed out like party favors, and where reputations are both made and entirely obliterated. For years, unverified rumors have circulated on private forums, blind gossip blogs, and among high society insiders that a younger Meghan Markle had navigated these exact waters long before she ever crossed paths with Prince Harry. The Whisper Network has consistently alleged that she and Prince Andrew didn't just meet for the first time at a formal royal gathering, but that their paths had crossed years prior in these ultra-exclusive, off-the-grid maritime settings. For a long time, these stories remained confined to the darkest, most cynical corners of the internet. They were dismissed as the wild imaginations of online trolls, or the desperate fabrications of people determined to tear down a duchess. But everything changes when the person validating the environment isn't an anonymous user on an internet forum, but the woman who shared a roof, a life, and the deepest, darkest family secrets with Prince Andrew himself. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has always been the wild card of the British royal family. She is a woman who has been broke, banished, publicly humiliated, and yet somehow always managed to claw her way back into the inner sanctum of the monarchy. Even after her highly publicized divorce from Andrew in the 1990s, Fergie never truly left his side. They continued to live together at Royal Lodge, shared the same social circles, and navigated the fallout of his catastrophic fall from grace as a unified front. Fergie knows where every single metaphorical body is buried in Andrew's life, because she was often standing right next to him when the shovels were out. She knows the names of the anonymous businessmen who funded their lavish lifestyles, she knows which private islands they visited, and she most certainly knows the roster of individuals who frequented the yachts and private estates that Andrew used as his personal playgrounds. For years, Fergie maintained a strict code of silence. She played the loyal ex-wife, defending Andrew against the press, keeping her head down, and ensuring her own survival within the royal ecosystem. But according to highly placed, completely unverified insider leaks, that loyalty has reached its absolute breaking point, and the reason for this sudden nuclear shift comes down to pure, unadulterated survival. The current climate within the royal family is one of immense tension, financial restructuring, and shifting power dynamics. With King Charles tightly controlling the royal purse strings and actively pushing to evict Prince Andrew and Fergie from their beloved royal lodge, the Duchess of York allegedly finds herself backed into a corner. When you back a woman like Fergie into a corner, she doesn't just surrender. She looks for leverage. And what better leverage could there possibly be than a dossier of secrets capable of completely shifting the public narrative away from her family's financial misdeeds and directing it straight toward the ultimate royal disruptor, Meghan Markle. The rumors currently exploding through high society circles suggest that Fergie has quietly let it be known that she is no longer willing to protect the reputations of those who abandoned the family ship. If the palace is going to strip her and Andrew of their home, security, and status, she is allegedly prepared to let the world know exactly how deep the rabbit hole goes regarding Meghan's pre-royal connection to the Duke of York. To understand the sheer magnitude of what Fergie is allegedly holding over Montecito, we have to dismantle the myth of the yacht girl culture that the internet loves to obsess over. In the entertainment industry, particularly in the early 2010s, there was a well-known, highly lucrative undercurrent where aspiring actresses, models, and influencers were invited onto luxury vessels chartered by elite businessmen, politicians, and royals. On the surface, these women were brought in to provide glamour, companionship, and a high-status atmosphere for exclusive parties. Behind the scenes, it was a world dictated by immense wealth and absolute discretion. The public has often wondered how an actress from a mid-tier basic cable show like Suits managed to seamlessly integrate herself into the highest echelons of British high society so quickly. If the unverified whispers are to be believed, the bridge wasn't built overnight through a random mutual friend. The bridge was allegedly built years prior on international waters, where a highly connected, extremely wealthy crowd gathered outside the jurisdiction of any normal societal rules. According to these newly resurfaced, highly speculative reports, Fergie has allegedly come into possession of specific logbooks, private photographs, and even itinerary records from past Mediterranean excursions that place Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew in the exact same location, at the exact same time long before Harry ever entered the picture. For years, critics of the Duchess of Sussex have pointed out strange anomalies in her official timeline, abrupt gaps in her schedule, mysterious trips to Europe that were never fully explained, and sudden connections to highly influential, anonymous billionaires. If Fergie is indeed preparing to strike, she isn't just going to release vague statements. She is allegedly holding the chronological map that connects all of these disparate dots into one undeniable picture. The sheer panic this has caused in certain quarters is palpable, because if these allegations were ever to be validated with hard evidence, it wouldn't just damage Meghan's carefully cultivated brand of progressive feminism and royal victimhood, it would completely shatter it. It would reframe her entire entry into the royal family not as a modern love story, but as the culmination of an incredibly sophisticated, long-term networking strategy that began on the decks of the world's most exclusive super yachts. And as the tension behind palace doors reaches a fever pitch, the past is no longer just drifting quietly in the distance. It is racing toward the shore, ready to collide with a reality that no amount of public relations spin can possibly cover up. The map connecting these dots doesn't just lay out dates and locations, it reveals an intricate web of elite encounters that the public was never supposed to decipher. As these unverified leaks begin to filter through the cracks of the establishment, the timeline of events starts to take on an entirely different, much darker shape. The narrative moves away from the sun-drenched decks of luxury vessels and into the highly secure, heavily guarded private rooms where the international elite talk business, trade favors, and manage reputations. For a long time, the public wondered how certain individuals always seemed to be protected by an invisible shield of media compliance. If a standard celebrity gets caught in a compromising situation, It dominates the front pages for weeks. But in this ultra-exclusive subculture, when names like Prince Andrew or high-profile international